Do you like the skin? Would you like your skin to look like this? The magic is in skin tint. Hi everyone, it's Smitha. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you 5 different ways of using skin tint for a healthier looking skin. But before we begin, we have a video sponsor for today. Well, you all know by now that I've been using my trusty Ulike IPL at-home hair removal for over a year, and I'm now hair-free, except for some areas where I use it in maintenance mode. The timing couldn't be more perfect because I just received a better and faster Air 10. These are FDA approved. The Ulike Air 10 is the first IPL device with 2 pulse lamps instead of industry standard 1. This means double the light source, increasing the treatment area by 18%. In Air 10's SHR mode, the combined power of dual lights flashes twice in 1 second, delivering a 4-pulse burst with a total energy of 26 joules, effectively removing even the most stubborn hair. And with the skin sensor technology, you can trust IPL treatment for your skin's safety, as it accurately detects skin tones, adjusting powers, and halts flashing if the area is too dark for safe use, providing peace of mind. Additionally, Air 10's design features with optimal ventilation and enhanced ergonomics makes it easier to hold and use. Now we have 4 different power levels, each designed to meet your specific hair removal requirements, like the fast mode for quick touch-ups, normal mode for finer to normal hair removal, high mode for thick hair, and then we have the SHR mode for high intensity treatment targeting stubborn hair. I know that many of you have been contemplating on getting the Air 3, and I would highly suggest getting the Air 10 instead. I'm going to insert a discount link just below the video, so check out the description box as well as the pinned comments to learn more or make a purchase. The way I like to prep my skin while applying a tint is by using a moisturizer. Most skin tints are water-based, so I like to use a water-based moisturizer underneath rather than using a primer. They just perform better. So I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Water Cream, which is my current favorite moisturizer, but you're welcome to use any moisturizer that you have. And the skin tint that I'm going to be using today is from Make Beauty. This is the Radiant Skin Tint in the shade 6. In the first way of applying the skin tint, I'm just going to apply it directly over the moisturizer. As you can see, it's very watery. And just observe how it melts into my skin when I blend it out. Nice thing about skin tint is because it's such a thin layer, it does not crease as much. And it gives you just enough coverage to make your skin look like a better version of itself. And for those areas where you need extra coverage, I'm just going to use a concealer. Today I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Concealer in the shade Praline. And I usually like to apply it under my eyes and around my mouth where I need that coverage, where I have that hyperpigmentation. And I'm going to quickly blend everything out. While we want to keep that glow, we don't want to mattify it, but we also want to avoid creasing. So I'm going to very lightly set in certain areas of my face where I crease with the Milani Blur Out powder. So I'm not going to be mattifying my entire face. We want to keep that glow. So to lock everything in, I'm going to be using a very strong setting spray. This is the One Size Until Dawn. This will lock in the makeup and will not allow it to move or crease while maintaining that beautiful glow. In the second method, I'm going to be using sunscreen. This one's from Kinship, but you can use any sunscreen that you have. I like to measure it out with 3 fingers. To this, I'm going to be mixing in the tint. And that should result in a tinted SPF, and I'm going to apply it like I apply my regular SPF. While this is now going to give you the sun protection, it's also not going to give you the white cast that usually sunscreens do because we've mixed it with the tint. And the result will be a fresh glow. This is perfect for everyday use where we don't want to cake up our face, but at the same time, we want that little bit of coverage. And of course, in areas where you want that extra coverage, you can always use some concealer. I'm going to quickly blend it out with my finger. With this method, because we use less concealer, you don't need a setting powder. You can just leave it as is. And this, my friends, was the second method with sunscreen. You anyway use sunscreen every day, so just mix it up with a little bit of tint to avoid getting that white cast. In this third method, we'll first use the concealer and contour and then apply the tint over it. So we will be underpainting or doing a reverse makeup for that natural, beautiful glow. But at the same time, we get all the dimension from the concealer and contour used underneath. By doing this, your contours are not going to look harsh. Instead, they give you a very natural finish. Even if you don't blend your contours or concealers to the T, it's okay because we will be using a tint over this that'll conceal everything. I'm also going to be using some blush, for which I'm going to be using the Rare Beauty blush in Grateful. So all the Dimension products go underneath the tint. Again, the blend doesn't have to be perfect because when you apply the tint over this, it's going to cover all that blotchiness. And now I'm going to apply the tint and quickly blend it out with a damp sponge. Usually when you do underpainting or reverse makeup, it's recommended for you to apply a very thin layer of foundation, a light foundation or a tint. That way you can see the Dimension products that you applied underneath. If you apply a full coverage foundation, it's going to completely cover up everything. It's going to be opaque and you will not be able to see the Dimension. I'm going to quickly set my face and lock it in with a setting spray. Now, while this looks natural and glowy, you can still see the Dimension from underneath, and I absolutely love this technique. Now, if you need some extra coverage but want to keep that glow, try the next method. First, mix in the tint with a moisturizer to thin it out. I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Water Cream as my moisturizer and adding a little bit of tint and mixing them together. I'm only going to be applying a drop. You can use as much as you prefer. The more the tint, the more the coverage. And I'm going to use this as a moisturizer all over my face. And as you can see, that has already given me good coverage. But of course, you can still see my uneven skin tone. So I'm going to use a second layer of tint only to cover in those areas where my first layer did not cover. If you don't have too much dark circles, you can also use it underneath your eyes. And then add a little bit of concealer if needed. Now, although this has given very good coverage, it's also maintained that glow. In the fifth and final method, I'm going to show you a trick that you can use with tinted moisturizer after applying your makeup. First, for primer, I'm going to be using the One Size Secure the Glow. This is a hydrating primer. I absolutely love the way this feels on my skin. While it's hydrating, it is also very sticky. So it's going to cling on to the other products that you will apply over this and make it long lasting. The foundation I'm going to be using today is Estee Lauder Double Wear to get full coverage. Although skin tints will give you that beautiful skin finish, sometimes you might need that extreme coverage. But at the same time, you might need that glow too. And for that, you can use this technique. I'm going to quickly blend this out with my Real Techniques blending brush. Next, I'm going to be using the concealer underneath my eyes and around my mouth. And I'm going to let it dry up just a tad bit so it gives me full coverage when I blend it out. And while it's drying, I'm going to be using a contour stick by Physicians Formula to quickly contour my face. This new product from Physicians Formula is absolutely perfect. It blends beautifully and it's so easy to apply because it looks like a crayon. Now that my concealer is a little bit tacky, I'm going to quickly blend it out with a concealer brush and then I'm going to apply blush. Again, I'm going to be using the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Blush in Grateful. You don't need the same exact products that I'm using, just use what you have. You just have to follow the technique. And now using the One Size Translucent Loose Powder, I'm going to quickly set my face. As you can see, we've gotten the coverage. It looks natural, but I'd prefer a little bit of glow. So what I'm going to do now is take a little bit of the tint with a dry brush and apply it to the highest planes of my face, just like you apply highlighters. So it gives that beautiful glow on the high planes without looking chunky like a few highlighters. This looks so much more fresh and maintains that glow. And now I'm going to quickly set my entire face and lock it in with a setting spray. And the result is, of course, full coverage with a stunning glow and stays all day because we've locked it in. Which of these methods was your favorite? Let me know in comments. And I love you guys so much and I will see you soon with a brand new one. Bye guys.